that they ran out of space in the boxes, they couldn't keep the ballots secure, they were flowing over everywhere. And this is because they lacked the process of educating the people of this new system. And it's because they implemented it too fast. That's always the way. They want to do it now, do it now, do it now. Now we have Los Angeles implementing it in 2020, and with a county that size, I really don't think they have time to get their act together between now and then. So I don't know what we're going to see in LA in 2020. But when it comes to you, and unfortunately I think it will, because right now it's up to the county to decide whether to do it or not, but there are going to be ways they're going to put pressure on the county, just like they did when they forced us to accept Common Core, to where we can't afford to not accept this way of voting. So we as an electorate need to know how to protect our own votes
get involved
in that new system. And
Look
the best
up
way, of course, is to show up to the vote center, vote in person, and take away the
Sign
right
up
for
to
somebody to
volunteer
vote
and donate.
on your mail ballot. The positives continue. You've got the reduction in the number of provisional ballots because people aren't going to be showing up at the wrong polling place and having to cast a provisional ballot. Because wherever you're from, they will be able to pull up your own precinct ballot at the vote center and give you the right ballot to vote. It is going to allow them to streamline the people working the polls so that they can have a better quality control over the people who are working in the vote center. You won't need as many poll workers. I talked to some people who were going through the training to be poll workers at the vote centers in Sacramento. They had 5 full days of training. So the hope is, and Michael Wu, our registrar, has indicated that if he gets his wish and we go this way, that he will feel much better about being able to control the quality of the people who are working the polls and also making sure that they're following the laws better. And so and also the registrar won't have to be finding all of those polling places and all of those poll workers. There's a real benefit to this law. However, it gives you flexibility, right, on voting. So there's some really good things, and I like it a lot. What I don't like about it is the tie-in to the vote by mail ballot. That's the thing that absolutely sinks the entire ship. Some of our concerns, those voter rolls that I talked to you about that are going to mean a lot of ballots floating in the wind. When you couple that with the motor voter law, which is misregistering voters and registering people who don't know they're getting registered, who don't want to be registered, who aren't going to vote, all right, what are the implications of that? If you all of a sudden find out you're registered, even though you didn't really want to, you're just not engaged, or you're not eligible for some reason, and then you get a mail ballot at your home, if you're disinterested, you might improperly discard your ballot and someone can swoop in, harvest it, and vote in your name. Or you might exchange your ballot. When someone comes along and says, you know, I'll give you a McDonald's card or I'll give you whatever your going rate is for your vote, there are a lot of people out there that will do that. You know that. There's some already out there doing that. And this just gives them that opportunity because somebody else registered them. We also have concern about people who maybe don't have a systematic way to pick up their mail, because they're not then going to necessarily get their ballot, or their ballot might be harvested by someone else before they can make it and get their ballot. Also, if they would prefer to vote in person, they're going to have a harder time getting to these vote centers because they're not going to be local. They're going to have to find some way to get there and to cast a vote. So they are certainly losing their choice in voting. People with handicaps, especially those with visual handicaps, are going to have much more difficulty voting without the assistance of another person whom they may or may not be able to trust to mark their ballot the way they should right now. Students in dorms who are brought down to mandatory meetings and forced to register or forced to sit and make out their ballot together. I don't know if you remember the article that was in the UT about 6 or 8 months ago where they interviewed Alex Padilla, and that was the one thing he said was so great about this law. Won't it be wonderful if we could all gather in large gatherings and sit around together and vote together? That's not an American democratic process. That's just the opposite of that. And so that is what they're pushing. You have people who may belong to oppressive unions and have a required union gathering where you have to bring your ballot. And then, of course, with the ballot harvesting law, they can say, oh, no, just fill it out, sign it, leave it here. We'll turn it in for you. And what kind of abuse does that leave for those people? So these are some of the real concerns we have about the protections for the voters under this law. The community drop boxes are mandated in where they have to be, and all the specifications, they all have to be the same. But the specifications that were written by the Secretary of State, they don't have to be attended. They don't have to be emptied except once every 72 hours. They're unprotected, and then there's no one inspecting the ballots when they go in to make sure that you haven't made a mistake and put something in there that isn't going to get counted because you put the wrong address or you forgot to sign it or whatever. So it's just another way of overwhelming the system on the counting end and not protecting you on the vote casting end. And obviously the opportunity for citizen oversight is greatly reduced. Many of you actually did go down to the registrar's office during this election cycle and observe the ballot processing and the ballot duplication and all like that, and I thank you for that, and I hope more of us will be involved. But only so many people can fit